Okay, guys and girls, today we're going to talk about one-step equations with decimals. Remember, what you do to one side of the equal sign, you must do to the other, and don't forget your decimal rules. With addition and subtraction, we line up the decimals. With multiplication, we do not. And with division, we need to do long division. Okay, here we go. So, number one, we have k plus 0.5 equals 1.6. We have to undo the plus 0.5 with subtract 0.5. We line up the decimals. 6 minus 5 is 1. Bring down my decimal. 1 take away 0 is 1. So k equals 1.1. Number 2, m plus 1 equals 2.2, so we're going to take away 1. This is a whole number here, so I need to add a decimal and a 0 as a placeholder. 2 take away 0 is 2. Bring down my decimal. 2 take away 1 is 1. m equals 1.2. Number 3, y take away 3 equals 1.5. To undo the take away 3, I need to add 3. Let's add 3 to both sides, but it's a whole number. So I have to add a 0 and a decimal. I'm left with y on the left side. 5 plus 0 is 5. Bring down my decimal. 1 plus 3 is 4. So for number 3, y equals 4.5. Number 4, h take away 5.4 equals 1.7. So I undo the subtraction with addition. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other, and I have to line up my decimals. I'm adding, so 7 plus 4 is 11, carry the 1. Bring down my decimal. 1 plus 1 plus 5, that's 7. So h equals 7.1. Number 5, k take away 1.7 equals 5.5. Almost the exact same problem up there, but a little bit different. I have to undo the subtraction with addition. I'm adding 1.7 to both sides, lining up my decimals. 5 plus 7 is 12, carry the 1. 1 plus 5 plus 1 is 7. Don't forget about that decimal. Number 6, my variable is on the right side, but I still have to undo what's being done. So I'm adding a positive 4.8, so I need to subtract 4.8. So 4.8 was positive. To undo it, I subtract it. Bring down the g and the equals. Now I'm going to have to borrow. See how I lined up my decimals and I have 5 take away 8? I need to borrow from the 9 and make it an 8. Make the 5 a 15. 15 take away 8 is 7. Bring down my decimal. 8 take away 4 is 4. 4.7 equals g. I could rewrite it as g equals 4.7, but it means the same thing either way. Now moving on to some multiplication and division problems. Number 1, q divided by 3 equals 0.8. So to undo division, I must multiply. I'm going to set this up like a vertical problem instead of horizontal, because right now it looks like my decimal's getting me confused with my multiplication sign. So I'm gonna rewrite this underneath, because I'm getting confused. Remember, when I multiply decimals, I line up the numbers all the way to the right. I don't line up my decimals here. I call it justify the numbers to the right. Then I just multiply. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 4. Sorry, plus 2 is 2. My answer is Q equals, and then this number, but I forgot something. I need to go back and count my decimals. I have one decimal place over here, so I move my decimal one place over my answer. So Q actually equals 2.4. Number 2, to undo the division, I must multiply. Multiply by 2.9. Multiply by 2.9. Now, I'm going to rewrite this so my 2.9 is on top and my 6 is underneath it. Just helps having 2 digits on top and 1 on the bottom. 6 times 9 is 54. Carry the 5. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 5, 17. I've got one decimal place here, so I'm going to move one decimal place over here. T equals 17.4. Number 3, m divided by 0.7 equals 0.6. So I'm going to multiply by 0.7, multiply by 0.7. I'm just creating a vertical multiplication problem instead of a horizontal multiplication problem. That's going to help me figure out what the answer is. 6 times 7 is 42, and then all I have left is zeros, so I don't need to multiply those. But let's look at how many decimals I have behind, how many places I have behind the decimal. I've got one place value behind the decimal here, one place value behind the decimal here, so I need to move my decimal over twice. 0.42 is my answer. Over here, I've got some different kind of problems. I've got multiplication happening to my variable, so I have to undo the multiplication with division. Now I'm going to have to make a long division problem out of these because that's how I do division with decimals. So I'll go ahead and show my work. I've got 0.15 divided by 5. Bring the decimal up. Can 5 go into 0? No, it can't. Can 5 go into 1? No, it can't. Can 5 go into 15? Yes, it can. 3 times. That goes in evenly. I'm left with no remainders. So R equals 0.03. Number 5. Let's divide both sides by 7. Do some long division. 6.3 divided by 7. Let's bring up my decimal. Can 7 go into 6? No, it cannot. Can 7 go into 63? Yes, it can. 7 goes into 63 9 times because 9 times 7 is 63. So I've got no remainders left. Y equals 0.9. And for my last one, divide by 2.5, divide by 2.5. So if I set up my long division, 25 divided by 2.5. Remember guys, I cannot have a decimal on the outside of my long division, so I must move it over once. If I move the decimal over once here, I also have to move the imaginary decimal over once here, add a placeholder, and bring my decimal up. Now if I erase my work slightly, I've got 25. I want to see how many times 25 goes into 250. So 25 goes into 25 once. 1 times 25 is 25. Take away. We've got 0. But I can't just leave my answer like this. I need to bring down this other 0. 25 goes into 0 0 times. And there I go. I'm done. I filled in all of my place values. The answer is actually 10. Not 1, but 10. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to practice these 4 one-step equations with decimals.